Hey, for the second time. Welcome to the show. If you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. We got a full panel today. We have the beautiful Betty Van Velsen. How's it going today, Betty?
Yeah. It was a false start. Started wrong. What happened?
It changed up on me. This time I had to hit the go live button. It just didn't, automatically, catch it. So that was pretty surprising. Shout out to Nathan. Yeah, I had to hit it this time.
New update?
Didn't update anything. I had the stream up and I was checking it, and you were correct. It wasn't live, and it gave me a blue stripe. It said, hit this to go live now. So that's what I did. So there's a new little thing there, but that's okay. Now I know. It finally caught up with me because Nathan did mention something about that, right? And I said, I don't have to do that. All I have to do is hit stream.
So you were sort of like headstrong, right?
I wasn't headstrong. I'm just telling you the last times that I did it, the last 3 or 4 shows, I just hit stream. Something changed. You're right. It's a good
what
thing.
Do you say, John, when someone helps you out with this? What do you say to people?
Thank you.
Well,
who am I thanking?
Me, because I told you that it wasn't live.
Yeah. Thank you, Betty. Because if you wouldn't have said that, I would have just kept going without checking the health of the stream.
But you would have a recording, right?
I would have a recording, yes. The recording has both introductions. Yeah, I would have still had the recording. Always hit record first. Yeah. So we're talking about admin, back house stuff. And I've been told never to do that because people are not interested in that. But I don't think that's true. I think people are interested in the back house sort of stuff. You want to go into that?
Admin?
Yeah, admin.
You know that's sort of a key word for me, but there is nothing to report on the front.
There's nothing to report on the front. Thank you. And there's nothing to report on the front in the back house.
And the side chat.
Now, what are they saying in the side chat? You guys hearing it? Give us a thumbs up if it's coming through.
Nothing to report, you say?
What's up, Arwin?
Here. Hey, Arwin.
Hello.
A fellow countryman.
Yeah. Netherlands representing.
So it's 2 Dutch versus 1 American.
Yeah, you're outnumbered, American.
American.
Yeah. So what's going on out there? So in Dutchland? We might as well start off the weather. We always start off with the weather. We might as well do it now.
Yeah. What can you say?
Cloudy, windy, and rainy periodically. So yeah.
Depressing, basically.
Well,
autumn time.
Let me turn around here. It's sunny, nice breeze, and about 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
I don't know what that means.
How you like that?
Warm enough.
It's almost near room temperature outside.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything's golden.
You will be hit by these storms.
There's always a chance here, love. That's always got to keep a weathered eye on the weather. Always.
Eye on the weather.
Always. It never stops.
Well, what does it even mean, be having a weathered eye on?
A weathered eye, a critical eye, a suspect eye, and it's an eye that's sincere, and it wants reality. It doesn't want any BS. How about that?
Okay. We got another ball buster in here. Great Adam Meekin.
Adam, sir, what's up?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
My computer's in repair, so I've just got a little bit of a temporary setup. So
Maybe we talk to.
Oh,
my
perfect
fault.
time to join the.
Yeah, it's
panel.
a perfect time. That's right. Good job. Yeah. Let me turn you up a little bit, Adam. And we'll do all kind of admin before the show gets started. And we'll try to get Nathan in here and say, stop talking about admin.
Well, maybe you can lure him in.
Yeah, lure. Say that again.
I don't know. All the time when you say something like that, I shouldn't be repeating myself.
No, I like how you say lure.
Oh, didn't I say that?
Yeah, you did, but you had a Dutch accent to it. I liked it.
I had a remark. You said what's going on, like there's almost nothing going on. I disagree. I think that on the flat Earth versus glober scene, a lot is going on. Like efforts are being made, but it's also getting much clearer to me, at least, where things are going, and the globers are like re-evaluating their position and like taking on new roles within the community because they are scrambling, they are at a loss. Definitely. The black swan and the paradoxical nature of terrestrial refraction has really broken them this time.
I agree, Arwin.
So they are re-evaluating their roles within the community.
I totally 100%.
Visible.
I totally 100% agree. I think everyone's been feeling it. In Discord, I've been noticing that it seems like, because we're just tightening the noose a little bit tighter daily, and I can feel the stress. And you're going to hear a lot of the nonsense. This is going to be unbelievable today. We're going to go with the greatest hits. Their arguments, these are from grown adults, and it is scary. Wait till you hear these arguments. It's hard for me to put into language how an adult or adults could have these discussions and come out with the nonsensical buffoonery we're about to hear in a few minutes. It's pitiful. And I hope there's a lot of new people out there, hopefully people that are on the fence that are listening to this, because it's, like I said, this is pretty scary. Most of the people on the panel have heard these before. Some of them maybe a little bit older, not too much. The oldest ones I got is from 2019, but this is going to be scary. The newest one is from yesterday or yesterday evening. Wait till you hear this. But before we get started there, I want to shout out my patrons. How about that? Now, usually they're running across the top of the screen. However, I need to shout them out. So, and a lot of these have been with me from the beginning. I would say 90% have been with me from the start. Here we go. Felix Hung. Dank. James Mays. What's up, James? Eagle Plane and Anchor. You're anchoring, man. Steve Alm. Texas Mike. Fireball X. Erwin Janssens or Janssens. How do you say that in Dutch? Janssens. Nathan Thompson. Shout out, Nathan. Chris Hillman. Unicorn Laser Eyes. Henrik 86. Jesse. Daggers. Mikhail. And Myris. Thanks, guys. From my family to you. Thank you very much. How about that?
Oh, nice list you got there.
That's a nice little list right there, right?
Yeah, pretty decent.
Yeah, that's not
You
bad.
say they were with you from the early stages, John?
Say again, sir?
Say they were with you from the early stages, so you can only give them a kudos for Knowing how to back a winning horse then.
The back of winning horse. Yeah, I would say 90% are from the very beginning. Within the first couple weeks that I launched the channel, yes. Pretty impressive. And my birthday was, I think it was for the channel was somewhere vicinity August 6th to the 8th. There's some question on exactly which day. I don't want to get into it, but it's right there on the 6th or the 8th of August. So, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Was there a question? What was the first show on the 6th or the 8th?
That's a pretty good question for the channel launch. I'd have to go back there and look.
Surely that'll settle it.
I thought it was already settled because I made a mental note and somebody corrected me. Nathan. So, yeah, I'll have to go back and look. Technically, it's not all that important. So listen, guys. Like I said, this is going to be the greatest hits. I'm going to start spinning some vinyl. All right. But what you're going to have to do, the people in Discord, guys are going to have to go on mute and pull up the watch page so you can hear them. All right. Because my computer sound's not going to Discord. Ever since I had the update, that's been kaput. So what you're going to have to do, I'll give you a little early warning. Well, you'll know when I start, and you'll just have to pull up the watch page, and you can listen to them over that. And then I'll wait for like 2 or 3 seconds because I know there's a little bit of a delay, and then we can get to business. How about that?
Oh, good here. I'm struggling as well, so that'll help me. Flipping it on screen.
I tried everything we're going to talk about.
On screen, John.
Say again?
I don't know how I used to cope with just one screen.
Oh yeah, I can't do one screen, man. Is that what you're doing? Yeah, I can't do it. I would never be able to run the show with just one screen. It's impossible. Let's talk about more back office or back house admin.
Oh, you stop it.
Really, really dig into Nathan, man. He'll be in here in no time. Yeah. Now, and I'm going to do it too. I tried every combination I could think of to try to get my computer sounds to Discord. It just won't happen. I've tried every combination I know with Voice Meter Banana. It's just not happening.
You'll figure it out, QE. Look, there's always these updates going on, and sometimes they completely dislocate the way you do things. I have the same problem. Nathan does too. You know, it's the constant updating, the speed of the internet and the programs these days. But you'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Just use the new method. We'll go on Deafen here and listen on the YouTube page.
This time it's Whoop Me, I think.
Okay.
I think because, like I said, I spent like 3 days doing every single combination and driving the people in Discord crazy. They wanted to talk about other things. I wanted to do admin. Can you hear this? No. Or echoes. Sounded like Jimi Hendrix feedback. So yeah, I dropped that. Just drop it for right now. It's not a big deal that you guys can't hear it. Like I said, you can always pull up the watch page. It's not a big.
Wait for the next update.
Wait till the next update. I don't think that's gonna work, man. I think it's gonna screw me up.
Sometimes they fix the problems.
Yeah, if you kick it.
They say that they sort of fix things and make things better, but why muck with it if it's good? Why do people want to change everything and make it better?
Because they want to fix stuff that's not broke. It's the human condition.
Yeah. But we are in this predicament right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right.
Who else we got in here, man? Let me check it. Hey, Jose. They're on mute and deafen. Yeah.
Yeah, because you sort of said that you're going to go to the.
Yeah. But that was a bit premature. I wanted to get a feel out there, but look at everyone following instructions except Adam and you.
Yeah, well, I need to be into multiple places at the same time.
Yeah, you do. It's heavy stress on you, and I apologize.
Yeah. Finally.
How you finally? How you like that? All right, let's see what we
Have
got.
Hold up, or I'm going to get in more trouble. How do I go on server mode? I'm not very good at this. What have I got to do there then?
You don't have to worry about it, Adam. Yeah, there you go. That popped up. Yes, just like that. Yeah.
Here you go, you say. I am good at it.
Yeah, you don't have to worry too much about that because I'm going to do it for you. Because just in case somebody pops in and listens to the watch page, I got it covered because I'll mute the hangout. And then we'll go through them. All right, let's get on a roll here. We're going to go through, like I said, this is the greatest hits. This is the first installment because I have volumes of material. So this is just, we'll put greatest hits part 1 on this. And it's a good one. Like I said, these people are, keep in mind, these people are grown adults making these arguments. So we're going to get ready to go. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right.
All right, I'll take you off mute. Hopefully I'll take you off mute on time. Here we go. Beavis and Butthead, December 2019.
What errors did you make? No, I
Yeah.
thought you were flipping brilliant.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
you did a fantastic job.
Well,
Your analogy of a fist appearing out of nothing, just that was just sheer poetry. I mean, I'd like to use that someday. I want to quote you on that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bob, you think that her appeal to a fist appearing out of nothing is poetry and fantastic? Oscar Wilde, eat your heart out, eh? Bob, are you snorting LSD-laced shrooms and chasing them with Grandpa's cough medicine again?
But
And this
I
is
just
my
want to make
field, by the way.
yeah. I think that everything I said is pretty much high school, if not undergraduate level understanding of the current level of science.
So a fist appearing out of nothing is high school and or undergraduate understanding of the current level of science? I think you're overshooting a skosh. This is without a doubt a 5-alarm, full tackle, paddy wagon, horse tranquilizer, straitjacket, rubber room, emergency lobotomy for the both of you.
And you're discussing quantum physics with somebody who doesn't understand. Of course, has to act on a pencil or to the ground.
How did it know to be food?
What? Wait, what did you, wait, huh? What? How does the pencil know to be food? Or were you referring to the force or the ground in this scenario? Because that would make all the difference in the world. I got this one. Let's try this. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? True or false? You two bozos better hope a mental health professional isn't listening in on this. I know that for a fact.
How did it know to be food?
What on earth? How did it know to be food for you too, Bob? You just went right along with the shroom-induced coma non sequitur, eh? So, we'll put it to you. Which one knew to be food, Bob? The pencil, force, or the ground? These clowns are insane, man.
Well, the easiest way to do that is the second law of thermodynamics. In order for something to go from small things to big things and organize, you have to put energy in. Food's energy,
Well,
that's all it is.
So in order for something to go from small things to big things and to organize, you have to put energy into it, eh? Firstly, you seem to be having some issues with singular versus plural. Something is singular, Bob. Something doesn't go from something to small things unless you chop that something up. Secondly, and speaking of chopped up, so we're going to pile up 150 bananas, TP style, douse the lot with gasoline and fire it on up because we added energy to small things. As you instructed, Bob. According to you, Bob, we'll get an organized big thing out of that. What do you think we'll get, Bob? I bet it'll be more substantive than the horse shit between your ears. I know that for a fact.
Anyway, Bobby, I appreciate it because you know that my basic orientation to a lot of the people in here, there are people in here with real engineering and scientific degrees, which I don't have, but I do talk a lot. So
They're smarter than I am.
I always check with people that I feel know more than I do to make sure that I'm not screwing up, and I am open to being corrected
Well, you're smarter than I am on this.
by other
The only-
people.
Oh, really? So, Mrs. Observed Phenomena, shoe. Hypothesis, it's a shoe. And measuring the time in a cubic meter depends on how quick on the draw you are with a tape measure is smarter than you, Bob. You see, what we have here, including these two knuckle draggers, are hordes of delusional, clinical-level, Dunning-Kruger, mindless Wiki-Discover channel patterning pretender clown Muppets that best-case scenario should be picking up cans along the side of the road, supervised. But they're out here posturing and pontificating on topics that would make actual fifth-grade general science graduates blush. Listen, fellas, you two bozos. I'd suggest getting on your knees right now and start praying ceaselessly, giving thanks to the rocks, pond scum, whatever, for the autonomic nervous system. Because if you had to think to breathe, you'd be in big trouble! My word. All right, good. You guys get that? Yeah? No?
Yeah, now we do.
I just heard you, the last sentence.
Yeah, you heard it. Do I need to say anything?
We back.
Who's the Bob that you're talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't introduce it. Good call, Betty. This is Bob the Science Guy
Yeah.
and Brenda.
Oh. Okay.
Please.
He's got the
Sorry,
nerve to call himself the science guy?
Now, guys, the ballers, you know, as a last resource, they've become fallacy pioneers. So they are trekking the land for new fallacies to claim.
Fallacy. They're talking about fists appearing out of nothing, and they're patting themselves on the back.
Exactly. Fallacy pioneers.
Fallacy pioneers. Unbelievable, man. I don't know what to say. I have something. I do have some. I didn't catch it the first time or the first 20 times I listened to it. Bob, the science guy, he's a medical doctor, said all food is energy. That's all it is. That's incorrect. Food has vitamins, trace elements, and minerals, and water. None of those offer any energy or kcals. Just to close the loop, Bob, the pseudoscience fallacy guy. What an abject train wreck that was. You and Brenda. And Brenda's smarter than you? Look out.
And where was this on? Was this on Gonzalez's?
Yeah, possibly. You know what? It was a while ago, possibly. Yes.
Possibly, because that getting those two together, right?
Yeah, you know, guys, what we really need is something real going. What if the Globers, all these Globers, were all put in the same room, the same chat room, the same stream, all of them, and we're
Call
just
it
like,
Assholes
let
Anonymous.
it loose. Give us your deepest ideas.
That's scary.
You know how you have Alcoholics Anonymous, and you can call it Assholes Anonymous.
Jeez. Come on.
Apples Anonymous. And that's Neil. Here is Neil. Hi, Neil. Didn't say hi.
Hi, Betty.
Hi. Everything going well?
Everything's going great.
Good.
All right. I don't think there's too much to be said for that one. I have something. Shout out to Brenda for what I taped last night. So this one's from last night, and like I said, shout out to Brenda. Here we go.
Hold up.
Hold up. Oh, you wanted to comment on that?
Only because there was very little to comment, but I do like a good intellectual geeky joke. Kudos to you there with regards to breathing and the autonomic nervous. Thank God for the autonomic nervous. That was the only point of appreciation in those quotes. So.
Oh, I've got one for you. Brenda has one for you. Make sure you listen very closely to this, Adam. It's not the headline. It's the supporting actors, but it's got something for you in there. All right, because I didn't release this. I didn't give it to anyone before the show. So check this out. Give it 5 seconds, and go ahead and go on mute. Here we go.
Basically, psychology is pharmacology. That's
Psychology
basically
is pharmacology now.
yes.
Is it a dog bone?
Dog bones are clocks.
There you go. How do you like that one?
How come I'm not hearing that?
There you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, is it going to be the first line? That's just frustrating, isn't it? Frankly, that's
did-
point of the world.
Did Brenda say dog bones are clocks?
Yes,
What?
she did. And
Little psychotic break there.
psychology is pharmacology. That one's for you, Adam.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I mean that frustrates me on many levels. I'm taking a breath for a second. It's probably the best way to describe it is as another pathetic attempt by evolutionists to describe the way in which the brain functions, all a mechanical thing. Psychology is not pharmacology, otherwise there'd be some science in psychology.
Well,
I'll leave it there, John.
that was for you, Adam. Let me turn you up a little bit too. That one was for you, Adam, but I wanted to focus on the dog bones are clocks, man. You see, this is
Dog bones are clocks?
dog bones are clocks, man.
Clocks in the sense of time things, or
Yes,
what?
yes.
Or you mean boots, like wooden shoes?
The boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do.
I mean, with Brenda, I always think of shoes somehow. I don't know.
So dog bones are clocks. This is
Is it like as in a sundial or something?
dude. You're gonna have to ask her. She said dog bones.
I'm
are
trying
clocks.
to make sense out of this. Look at what I'm doing here. It's just
Yeah.
like what
Yes.
the fuck?
Just the rate of gnawing on the bone, you can tell time because the dog will have chewed so much bone by day.
Well,
Or,
she got into trouble. I'm going to tell you. There's a little backstory to this. She got into trouble a few weeks ago with atoms or clocks. So I started asking her what time is sulfur. And I put her on my list, and I brought that up last night, and she said that, well, all atoms experience time. So they're clocks. So I said the first thing that came up in my mind was dog bones for some reason. I said, well, dog bones experience time. Are dog bones clocks? And she said, yeah. And then we got to the later part of the discussion and it came back up again. So that's the background with it.
Somebody must be getting into a new type of kinky play.
We're at a point right now to where all their if you take all their arguments and take them to their logical conclusions, you reach absurdities. So that's what's happening now. That's what Arwen was talking about before, and that's what everyone's feeling. It's definitely palpable in the hangouts that I go into now. It's so much different than what it used to be before because they're desperate. And when it comes to fanatical religious zealots that are desperate, you're getting what you're getting right now. It's not only Brenda. We've got some other stars for the greatest hits. Some PhDs. So get ready. Anything else from the clan here?
Well, just one little bit. Follow what you and what Harlan was saying there. It is. Previously, you were arguing stuff and we were figuring stuff out, but now it's presentation of something that's debunkable, and then you're subject to just retardia, frankly. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the content that you then have to field and disseminate and take apart, or bother not to listen to. It's quite desperate that there appears to be. I'll give a good example, John. I was in Discord the other night, and they're talking about the second blue marble image and how he admitted he had to patch it all together and give the impression of the sphere what people would thought it would look like. And the retort to continue the conversation was, oh yeah, but there are books with the real pictures in. No admission, no, and this is the point. No, actually dealing. They've stopped dealing with the intelligent conversation, and they'll just then fall back into a little bit of defensive rhetoric that derails the conversation and takes it, like I say, frankly, the only place into retardia. But when asked to present these books, oh, I ain't got them. No, it's just to do photos in books, do they now? And they're the real pictures of Earth, but they don't bother showing those. And that's what
you're misrepresenting him. You're misrepresenting him. You're misrepresenting him.
Well, that's another example. But it's once you've got to the Achilles heel, the killer, that's when the full, that, as you exemplify with the rumpus there, that's where it goes. It descends into that one way or another, whether it's in the form of a ridiculous story like, yeah, but there are real pictures of Earth in books from NASA that's published. In retort to, or as extreme as the rumpus story.
Oh, he's going to star here later. So we're going to give perfect examples of the doublespeak. Right? He was coming up. But Arwen, I think you were speaking about this, maybe not last week, but the week before, where you were talking about, I think it was you, that all they have now is tactics.
Yeah. Well, it's been like that for a while, and I've just, I don't know, because I do what I do with my daily routines, I spend most of my time just staring at things that I'm confronted with, and I deal with a lot of globers, and I'm just figuring this out. Like, hey, these patterns are starting to look familiar. I'm starting to understand what they're trying to do. And that's kind of become my objective, to really figure out, like, what are they really trying to accomplish here and why? What's driving them? To basically figure out, almost from a third-person perspective, what is going on in the entire scenario, to try and put it all together. And yeah, and this is the pattern that's coming from it. Like, we're winning. They've got a lot of cover through media. You know, it's the media conspiracy basically. So it's their baby over the ages. It's what they do. But they got that on their side. But the media is being attacked, is being cornered in all kinds of way anyway. So, and at the same time, yeah, the argumentation has not ceased. So we just figure out more and more about their machinations, and they're now in a corner. So all they can do is basically try to act their way out of it.
Yeah. Chocolate, what's your thoughts on this, man? And hello.
Hi.
Hello, Joko.
Hi.
How's everybody? Hello. What are everybody's thoughts on what? Being I just came in 5 seconds ago?
Yeah. We're talking about how their arguments, if you follow them, if you force them to complete their arguments, they logically follow to absurdity. And
Follow to. Usually starts off with absurdity.
did you happen to hear dog bones or clocks yet?
What are clocks?
Dog bones.
Dog bone. This has to be Brenda. The fucking clocks.
You called it.
Oh my god. Jeez.
Impressive, Chocolate.
Really? Dog bones?
Yeah, it's a Brenda thing to say. I agree.
I'm not going to play it again.
The last time I heard it was atoms or clocks.
That's right. Right. So this was a carry on from that. And yes, I'll send it to you. We're not going to go over it again because we get bogged down. But
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe tree rings are is time too.
Yeah, that could be. I was just going to ask you, what are your thoughts on this? What's your take on this, Betty?
I didn't even understand the last word because that was a short clip. So I didn't catch that, but yeah, I don't know. She's strange, right?
Like I said, it's a microcosm, and yeah, we understand Brenda. We got it, and she's how ironic up on screen right now. We understand that and from the rank and file, but we're gonna start getting into a couple.
It's so funny that clip is on.
Brenda is into psychology. She's all about the mind experimentation. So this doesn't surprise me at all. She's just playing around on a philosophy level with this stuff.
Well, then it sort of makes sense because that first sentence.
Right.
Elmer Fudd philosophy level.
With psychology being pharmakeia.
Yeah, it's how a lot of psychologists just casually go do things with general people. You know, it kind of works. It's very basic stuff, but it is basically playing around with the imagination. You know,
all right.
And she's just doing that and then trying to reify that into some kind of science perspective.
No, what led to this was she said before that the full clip. I got the full clip. What brought this on was she is on a slant of thoughts are physical. So somebody asked her if psychologists were actually now physicists.
Oh, hell.
On what does she base her claim? On the assumption that thoughts are energy or something?
Thoughts are now physical.
Yes.
Oh my
Thoughts
lord.
may take energy, you know? So I wonder what route she took in that assumption.
That's what I was trying to probably didn't get over earlier. It's the reduction and removal of spirit. So it's an attempt to formulate that psychology is just pharmacology. Now, of course, there is synaptic interactions that psychology will consider, but if that's all it was a series of switches, is what our implication is saying there is that psychology is just pharmacology. It's just the way the switches are on and off synaptically. That see, to me, brain is a machine that the spirit uses. She's implying that there is no spirit and that it is just a series of neural networks.
You mean chemical reactions that became
Yeah.
so complex that they gained sentience? Like that?
Evolved rocks.
Like complicated rocks?
That's it most fundamentally, isn't it? When you take it back, it's that difference between are we just a collection of primordial soup that thinks it's there? That's what she's buying there.
Don't be talking about my cousins.
and you know, it's kind of a harsh joke at the same time, because there is almost an indication, at least, that there may be some kind of like a mineral growing type of almost life around, at least. So yeah, from what I've seen around, not saying that it is literally life, and definitely that we've not evolved from them, but that is really that's the big trick, the evolution, you know. There
Evolution,
may be
what's
life
that?
in all kinds of forms and levels, but it does not evolve physically.
I have yet to meet a rock that was almost alive, so when I do, I'll let you
There
know.
are growing rocks, seriously. They feed on rain and they grow and they multiply. Make rock babies. Seriously.
What about the fungus on the rocks? Would that count?
Oh, God, we're going off into ludicrous absurdity. She's just a materialist living in a material world. She's a material girl. Okay?
My cousin Madonna.
A material girl.
No, our cousins are not rocks. But hey, you could consider that everything in the realm is designed by the creator. So creation-wise, anything is our distant cousin.
Oh, brother. All righty then. Now, next. Any follow-up with this? Any last thoughts? We're going to get into some PhDs. Like I was saying before, this is some of the
Let's go to the high-level stuff. Huh?
Yeah. I don't know how high this is. Like I was saying before, we're kind of used to it from the rank and file GlobeTARDS. But I got a couple PhDs in here. So we're breaking through there. There's not that much difference. All right. This next one is from an alleged PhD in computer science. We all know him as M. Scott Veach. Okay? He's the next one on the docket. And please, any new people that joined the Hangout, go on mute. I'm going to put you on mute anyway, but go on mute. You're going to have to pull up the watch page. Okay? Chocolate, you hearing that?
Computer science, you said?
Yeah, because he's alleged PhD, according to him, purportedly, in computer science.
What science did he compute exactly?
In computer science, that's what it is. So,
okay.
So pull up the watch page, Chocolate. Here we go. PhD Booker-eating schmuck M. Scott Veach and his mentor, Mr. Bird's humping natural experiment numpty dipshit Gimp Panda, 23 August 2020.
Jeremy, do you really think, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a real question, like person to person, human to human. Do you really think it's possible that 100 years ago, Maxwell's equations of thermodynamics, which are used all the time, do you really think that they contradict the gravity model and the atmospheric model? Do you really think these things are in contradiction and nobody in mainstream science noticed that they're all just whistling by, as they walk past the graveyard? Is that really something that seems likely to you? I'm genuinely asking.
It may not be highly likely, but it's possible.
Bugger eater. What in the world does Maxwell's relations in thermodynamics have to do with your fairy tale gravity model? Por favor. And we'd really like to see this atmospheric model. Atmosphere, which is a contradiction in terms, atmo meaning air, sphere meaning shape. Gases have no inherent shape. This schmuck is just making shit up on the fly, per usual. My word.
And do you think it's possible? For real?
Yes.
That's my favorite question on this. I just don't get how anyone can possibly.
I don't see how you can see
It's
it.
a fallacy that your whole.
First of all, the fallacies don't apply for informal language. Okay, we're talking. You can't apply fallacies when we're just chatting. Fallacies are for formal logic.
3 gems from the booger-eating schmuck Veach. Number 1, fallacies don't apply for informal language. What the hell does that even mean? Number 2, fallacies are for formal logic. What about informal fallacies? And number 3, fallacies don't apply when we're just talking. Well, when do they apply? When you're not talking? Just making numpty dipshittery up and contradicting himself again.
And also, I think
Really, it
whenever
doesn't
I say
apply.
this, people go, argument ad populum. But it's really not. We're not saying you should believe this because lots of other people believe it. We're saying, how do you account for the fact that if what you're saying is true, no one else has spotted it? This is this is an anomaly that exists within your worldview.
Jeez. The only anomaly here, knuckle dragger, is you being able to speak without assistance from your personal fleet of slobber nurses. So, Gip Panda's favorite question is what? You got it, logical fallacy. And it's not an argument ad populum. It's the exact opposite. It's a textbook argument from silence fallacy, you dumbass cracker. What we got here, folks, is a real-life Harry and Lloyd situation. Have fun. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything, whatever he is playing.
Well, you have to have the watch page up, Neil.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult if you, because there's sort of a how do you say that?
There's a delay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I thought I was.
So where's the watch page?
Fleet of slobber nurses are still working on Gem Panda.
It's kind of deep fishing at this point with guys like that, you know? They're so far down on such a low level of hell, I guess you could call it. So fishing is like really deep fishing. It's almost like, oh my god, look at these people that are like in such a like fatally flawed lifeful position constantly. And then like, yeah, they're doing it wrong. It's almost like yeah, duh to me, but I guess to outsiders maybe not so much.
I'm confused as to which fallacies only apply when you're talking.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused about that. I don't know.
They want to separate it.
Wait,
They
is there a
want their
talking
blabber
fallacy?
speech. They want to be able to blabber and fantasize about whatever they want as well.
What's the point, Arwen?
Leave us alone.
You follow it to its logical conclusion, then that just basically means you need to be able to bullshit as long as it's not in some formal logical way. But when we're talking to each other, we can just make shit up. It seems and justify it in an unjustifiable way, and then carry on. Having to accept it, can't challenge it as a fallacy. It seems.
How sad is that? How sad?
I don't
How
get it.
sad is the fact that you have to defend against using logical fallacy? I don't understand. I don't get it. Is it because you have no arguments? So therefore, logical fallacy is better than nothing? Shout out to Tim.
Shout out to Timmy Clown.
Yeah.
QE, did you make up natural law? That's what Rumpus said yesterday. That you made up natural law.
Yeah.
Am I responsible
They're
for?
doing that now.
So I'm responsible for all natural laws? Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
You're a force of nature, QE.
I'm not a
Yeah,
force, but
sure.
I'm not a force of nature. But you can think of me as a force of nature.
No.
No, that's what they're doing.
That was good.
We're there again.
Oh, and that's on the list too. I don't. It's
I
apparent.
had the honor to once talk to M. Scott Beach. Short while in Discord. I can't understand the guy. Half the time, he's talking so fast that it's incomprehensible.
Yes.
Right?
He's a fast talker. Yeah. Yep.
But they skip words maybe, or what's happening?
They skip whole thoughts and sentences.
It's because they're hoping that they can speak. It's like Rumpus, right? He's hoping he could just get all his gibberish out so fast that you don't pick up on the nonsense that he's spewing.
Right.
Ah,
They're trying to
Exactly.
subconsciously program their recipient.
that's it.
Exactly.
We know the magic trick.
Now, they're under this impression, and I only heard this is the first time I ever heard this in my life, that logical fallacies can only be employed, or they can only be invoked or only called out in an official debate or something formalized. Wherever, I have no idea where they got that idea from. I've heard it a few times, only from those two bozos. So, listen, all bets are off. I haven't a clue. He's just making it up as he goes. He's so delusional. This is what happens when you're delusional, right? And you're a fanatical religious zealot. That combination is very scary. So, they just make stuff up. It's incoherent.
If he was right, John, I can tell you that you're wrong because jelly wobbles.
Yeah.
Can I go back to super chat?
Yeah, go ahead, Betty. Yep.
Yeah, so we got one from James Richard, and he says, Globies will never blush because they have no shame. Sorry. Globies will never blush because they have no shame.
Correct. No, they have no shame and no honor. This is bottom of the barrel, folks. This is really scary.
That's why I think we have all this. Because, as James Richard says in that, not so much no honor, it's just no humility. Nathan says it a lot, and the reason he sticks on a point is just to concede. There's nothing wrong with being wrong and moving on. The trouble is that moving on and conceding does undermine their whole worldview. I think that's why we have this. I think no humility is, as Nathan said, is the point of what's going off. You have to question why they're not prepared to show that humility. Like I said, it's because concede the point. There's no logical person or honest, intellectually honest, and that's the other big, isn't it? When we're discussing with these guys and the frustration we have, certainly from my point of view, the point of we've stopped discussing stuff and I'm now just having to deal with your intellectual dishonesty. Rumpus is a great example. I mean, he's a very, very intelligent man and he knows what he's doing. He knows how he's perverting, twisting, staying one side of it, of lying. But whilst he may not be lying, he's not intellectually honest.
I don't know. I think you're shooting for the stars with that one. Intelligent, I don't think he is at all. He's a fast talker.
The Globers, the really efficient ones with their fast talking and their machinations, they know they're lying, but they're really convinced they're doing it for a righteous cause. You got to realize that. That's why they are so adamant about it, because they do think in themselves, in their psyche, that they're doing good, that it's for a good cause.
There has to be a reason, Arwen, doesn't it? Because we entered into this, trying to figure out what the bloody hell's going on. So there has to be a reason where you abandon your honest searching. As you say, if that's it, if it is just religious fervour, at least that's an explanation for me. I can comprehend.
I think it does play a part. It does give them certain sparks. Like, keep going against all odds. That's what it feels like, They get ridiculed so bad. I've never seen any group out there that would let themselves be so humiliated and still just keep on going like that.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's wrap that one up. I think that spoke for itself. It's actually preposterous. Let's get into another example, like I was saying in the introduction, that the arguments that they provide, when you follow them, when you force them to follow them to their logical conclusions, are absolutely absurd. This one coming up is from Danny T, now Daily T. So go ahead on mute. I'm going to put you there. And then I'll wait for a few extra seconds at the end for the lag to catch up. Here we go. This is Danny T. Truther, 1 November 2019, 24/7 2.0 Discord.
Agree that projectiles are a pretty bad example of Coriolis because there just wouldn't be.
There is no
a
Coriolis
significant
effect.
Of an example. But what about ones where they do it with like fluids? Like, what
There
are the
is no
best?
Coriolis effect.
Wait, you're talking
Because
about
if
you're
there
flushing your
was-
toilet,
okay,
Danny?
Wait a second. You
Not
defined
the
it.
toilet. Not the toilet.
No, I didn't say the
not-
toilet. Hold on a second. Do I got to put you on mute again?
Do it.
You already defined the Coriolis effect correctly. Well, kudos to you. You're the first baller that you must have been listening to that Nathan Oakley Hangouts for a while, so you got it. So if that be the case, see, my argument isn't the Coriolis effect. My argument is the Coriolis causes, right? If the Coriolis causes are true, then a flight from North Carolina, Charlotte, to LA on the same latitude line, roughly, traveling at 500 miles per hour would take 1.5 hours straight flight. Why does it take 4.5?
That's a good point.
Am I on?
No.
Okay. So when the airplane lifts off from the runway, it's let's say lifts off going 500 miles per hour, which it doesn't, but
Let's say it's let's say, hold on a second. Let's say the runway is facing west.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Exactly. Even simpler. Yeah. Okay. So if the Earth were spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, and it lifted off
860. I'm sorry.
Right.
Sorry for interrupting you. At that latitude, it's 860
Okay.
miles an hour.
So at 860, so then it would be going 1,360.
No, wouldn't.
In a reference frame with respect to the Earth, in a reference frame that was outside of Earth.
Wait a
which
second.
no
The
one lives in.
plane. Hold on a second. Takeoff speed is about 175 miles an hour. So
Okay.
the Earth is spinning from west to east at 860 miles an hour.
Right.
Right? Are you saying the plane is going backwards?
Well, not on Earth. No.
When it takes off? If it was
No.
conserving momentum, right?
Right. Yeah. If it was conserving
I got
momentum.
you by the balls.
No. You're right. You're actually right. If you're conserving momentum
The ball.
and you were at a stationary point in space, which nobody is at,
No.
then yeah, you would see the airplane and the Earth passing you by, and the airplane's actually going. Yeah.
Go ahead, say it.
That would be correct.
Say it.
Well, it's
Say
no
it.
different. Okay. Can I give you an example? I know this is if I'm in a car.
No. We're on my example. Say it. If the person is standing, if the person is in the the inertial
in the
reference frame. Hold
Yes.
on. I'm gonna have to fucking mute you. So the Earth is spinning from west to east at 860 miles an hour. The plane is taking off directly west to its target in LA, and it's going 175 miles an hour. If it's conserving momentum, are you telling me the person in the inertial reference frame is seeing the plane going backwards?
Yes.
Ah!
That's right. I know that, but you know that's the answer, though.
Danny,
Are you
you're not
recording?
thinking about
Are you
reality.
recording?
Beam me up.
Dear
Beam me up, Scotty.
So are
Beam me
you
up, Danny.
still
Oh my gosh.
struggling?
In review, what he's saying is, so you got two reference frames. He got that right. You have the spinning non-inertial reference frame that the plane's on, And then you have the inertial reference frame, which is the atmosphere. Now, the Earth is spinning from west to east. That's in the plane's face on the runway before it takes off at 860 miles an hour. Typical plane reaches about 175 miles an hour on takeoff. What he's saying is, if you're in the inertial reference frame witnessing this plane take off, due to the conservation of momentum, which he doesn't understand, that the plane will be going backwards in reverse until such time as it overcomes that conservation of momentum. That at that time, it will be in suspended animation and then all of a sudden overtake the spin. That's what he's saying. I know it because these GlobeTARDS have been doing it for the past 3.5 years. I've been trying to explain this to them, but they can't get it. That's what I'm talking about, folks.
Be back.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Me, right?
That he
That's the
said
one.
that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, you go.
Go ahead, Adam.
That's the one that's kind of the geek in me kind of says, "Oh, you freaking idiot." I can see myself back then in the maths, doing the maths, going, yeah, I see that works. So you try to actually visualize the reality of the maths, and maths is great, but doing bullshit, you do out with it, as long as you don't break the rules of the maths. I mean, but this is, to me, one of those, you first get into flat earth, and it's one of those things you're looking at, and then you do go back and mugged off there, completely mugged off there, because I could see, looked at those numbers and thought, yeah, makes sense. Without actually thinking about the reality, what the crap you're talking about, and the nonsense, absolute gibberish nonsense. And it's that point you mentioned at the end there, that pinpoint. It's really interesting. You can't describe in the maths. The maths falls apart at that description.
That was lovely. Yeah, thanks, Adam. Arwen, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm basically staggered by that he would say something like that. Because yeah, in the model, that's true. He's trying to keep true to his model. No, that's why he's closer to it, because he's doubling down on the model more. But to actually then say it out loud and reify that is just preposterous.
I pulled the Sam Kinison on him. Say it! Say it! Right, I was trying to get him to say it. I wouldn't get off the topic because I knew right where we were going from the beginning, and I couldn't believe that he actually said it. I just
well,
as alcoholics describe it, a moment of sobriety for him. You heard him, conceded, then he went back to just denying what he just realised.
This is cognitive dissonance. I mean, this is a guy sort of realizing what he just said, right?
Right.
Right? He didn't want to say backwards, right? Because he knew that it sounded ridiculous. Yeah. And then when you put it forward again to him, how and then he said, yeah, well, yes. Yeah. It's amazing.
This conservation of momentum thing has got, I haven't heard a GlobeTARD get it right yet. They don't understand it. And when they apply it in this situation, because this is more or less a Coriolis cause situation, you get right into absurdities of planes flying backwards.
Yeah, and I remember Rumpus once said that if you look in the theodolite, you can see your own back half.
You can see your own butt. Yeah, you can see your own back half. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous, but everyone...
I mean, you can see that's sort of him, and with DDT, it's planes flying backwards.
I can't... That's the poster child. And he's... Listen, I'm leaving this at Danny T's doorstep, but it's not just Danny T. I mean, he actually said it, but folks, let me tell you something. A lot of others have said the same exact thing. They're just not recorded, but they all believe this. And if you want something funny, just get the argument, right? It's a simple argument. If they're using the conservation of momentum, you could take them there, just like I did. Just bring it up. Just take them there. Go from Charlotte. Go ahead, Betty. I'm sorry.
This was in 2019.
I don't know exact date. It wasn't that long ago.
I think he said it in the beginning that it was in 2019 that he said this. So you might sort of.
I think it was last year.
Hopefully.
What I was saying before was you can get them to say the same exact thing. Just get them into the scenario. Conservation of momentum. Yeah. Just get them into that scenario of the Charlotte flight, Charlotte, North Carolina, to Los Angeles. Go ahead and round the numbers off, right? Even though that they're on roughly the same latitude, 860 miles an hour. Don't worry, just round the numbers off. Say 900 miles an hour, the Earth is spinning towards North Carolina. Have the plane takeoff speed at 200 miles an hour. Keep everything, round all the numbers off. And ask them when the plane is facing west, so it's a straight shot to Los Angeles. So what they're saying with the conservation of momentum, with the Earth spinning from west to east at 900 miles an hour, takeoff speed at 200 miles an hour, that if you're observing, let's say you're in a helicopter 500 yards away from the airstrip, and you're watching this flight take off at 200 miles an hour, what they're saying, that person in that helicopter, when you got wheels up off on takeoff, that plane is flying backwards at 700 miles an hour.
I want to see it. That's something they could demonstrate.
I'm telling you, that's exactly what they think. Do it. It's fun times, man. Get your popcorn out.
Ridiculous. If that kind of wind situation was going on, then yeah. Airfields would close down.
It's too bad. It's too bad I worked in an airport for almost a decade, and I spent a lot of time watching planes land and take off from multiple different runways, multiple different directions, and I never saw a plane appear to fly backwards.
Well, because you weren't in the inertial reference frame.
All those times, all those planes were late. They were actually flying backwards.
Chocolate.
And I never seen them deviate at all.
Chocolate. You didn't recognize your problem. You have to be in the inertial reference frame. You ain't gonna notice it being on the non-inertial rotating reference frame.
All right, not backwards, but there's no deviation at all. Isn't Coriolis something I should see from the non-inertial reference frame? Like I said, I watched many planes land, clear the land for miles away, never ever once seen them deviate.
Well, I've seen planes sort of that it looked like they were standing still in mid-air, but I was in a driving car.
Yes, I've seen that too.
From which of the infinite amount of reference frames am I supposed to be viewing this?
Inertial?
The ones that are ruined?
The ones that are ruined. Yeah.
The ones that are ruined. Yeah, the infinite. Yeah, that is preposterous. You have to be in the inertial reference frame. Like I said, you're observing the runway and hovering in a helicopter. So you're in the inertial reference frame, observing this flight take off, that plane's flying backwards. They have to say that. They must. So, and that's what I said. It just reduces everything to absurdity. Anything else on that one? I don't think we have to talk about that one too much more.
I have
It's
another
science
super chat.
fiction technobabble. They're trying to technobabble their way out of it. Really.
Technobabble. Yeah, I heard you, Betty. We'll get back to you in a second. Let's see. We've been going for about an hour and 15. We haven't even put a dent in my initial list. We're not going to make it to the end of the list. It ain't going to happen.
4 more hours.
Yeah, right. It ain't going to happen. So, like I said, I sort of anticipated it, but this greatest hits, this is going to go on for some time. This is just part 1. I think it could be 10 parts.
No, that could be infinite because they're going to add on every day.
But before we leave this topic, I'm telling you, folks.
Good point there, Neil.
Just get this argument down. It's very easy to understand what they're thinking about, right? Just get it down. The straight flight from North Carolina to Los Angeles. It's on the same latitude line, right? It's very easy. Round off the numbers of the spin coming towards you and the takeoff speed, 900 miles an hour coming towards you, 200 on takeoff, and just lay it at their doorstep and just get the popcorn out. Betty, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a super chat from James Richard again, and he says, they didn't become Globers because of their own conclusion. It was instilled in them, indoctrinated.
Exactly. Sure. Thanks, James. Appreciate that. James representing, man.
Hey, he's good.
Chewy.
Go ahead, Chocolate.
Let's do something for maybe some new people out there watching who just heard that, right? So tell them why is it that your argument isn't the Coriolis effect, it's the Coriolis cause?
Right.
People know that.
Exactly. Chocolate, I've been trying to explain that for 4 years, man. They still don't get it because I go ahead and already assume the effect. I already do that for them because the Coriolis effect does exist and you can represent it on a merry-go-round. Everyone's been on a merry-go-round. They threw the ball. You know the deal. Everyone can relate to that. The problem is it's the Coriolis effect in relation to the Earth. That's the problem. So I just go about it real easy for a practical demonstration because my argument then shifts not to the Coriolis effect, but already assuming the Coriolis effect. If that's true, then the causes must also therefore be true. So that means for the Coriolis causes, you must have at least 2 reference frames. The non-inertial spinning reference frame, that's the Earth, and the inertial reference frame, that's the atmosphere and anything unattached in it. So if the Coriolis effect is true, anything not attached to that spinning reference frame is going to be separate from that reference frame. So you have to take the speeds that the Earth is coming in your face from west to east with the plane flying east to west. It's real easy once you think about it, get it right in your head, right? And then just use the takeoff speed. You don't have to go any further. Don't worry about the plane's actual speed flying to Los Angeles. Just use the takeoff speed. Just use 900 miles an hour of the Earth spinning in your face and the 200 miles an hour takeoff speed going towards the west. How about that? Is that good? Yep.
I know some people might not have heard all that. So
1 second, Betty. Go ahead, Chocolate.
No, I'm sure there might be some that might hear this and haven't heard that because it's been a while since you got into that specific, the reasoning behind the causes as opposed to the effect. I thought it might be good especially because we got somebody currently telling us how reference frames are ruined. So you're saying that if you believe in Coriolis effect, Earth-based, and you think you live on a ball, you absolutely require at least 2 reference frames, right?
Yes. And the effect takes away the sight gag because then they'll go off on, well, planes are deflecting. No, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can summarize it, the Coriolis effect is a sight gag. There's actually no force. That plane or balloon or whatever's in the inertial reference frame, nothing's happening to it. If it's flying straight, then it's flying straight. Yes, it can turn and stuff. Who cares? We're not talking about deflections or apparent deflections. When I get it to the Coriolis causes, I eliminate all that nonsensical buffoonery and just deal with the causes. Because if the effect's true, therefore the causes must be true also. If I destroy the causes, the Coriolis effect goes away. Follow?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I do it. Try to get out of the boondoggle. Go ahead, Betty.
Yeah, there was a guy in the not unrelated, by the way. Was a guy asking a question or whether you are going to debate McToon tonight.
What?
That's a question.
MC Toon was challenged to bring his butt into the arena. So we're still waiting. Miggy, I talked to Miggy. He hasn't heard anything from him. So you tell MC Toon, knuckle dragger, to get his butt into the arena, and then we'll get to cases. How about that? And then
Stop
I can
calling him MC.
MC.
Not an MC. He's a Mick.
Yeah, McMoron. Get him in the arena. That's where we have a place for that. And get him on in there. I told him, and he just won't listen. He's on some kind of rant about who the hell knows. He's friggin' delusional. So let's get back on topic.
Say about MC Toon what you want, but he actually sent me a physical Bible. Just like
Toon.
Right.
Yeah,
Toon.
Toon is okay, but he's just not an MC.
Now he needs to read it.
Betty,
Sorry.
you can't do that
Well,
while I'm
because
drinking.
It never states anywhere in the Bible that we live on a ball hurtling through space.
I friggin' choked. I blew water everywhere.
There's plenty of baller preachers out there, Betty. Be surprised.
My word.
Oh, Owen, there's many of them is right, and they will not turn.
Hey, I went to my church over here, like Latter-day Saints, so Mormons.
Hey, Arwen, let's stay on
No,
topic.
I'll keep it short. I'll keep it very short.
Very
but
short.
Just saying, the ball was actively being preached by the head person there, and I tried to confront them.
Oh,
they were
geez.
very defensive against it. Basically, sent me out.
That's the
They
thing,
get
Owen.
planets, Owen. They get planets when they die and ascend. They become gods of planets.
Oh, and that's the thing with the Bible. Whilst it might categorically describe things that aren't concurrent with a ball, you can think of it, the ball, if you read the Bible. If you really want to ignore some of the scripture, you can ignore the contradictions in it. But that's, again, you, isn't it? You can't force people. You can think of it, the ball, reading that text, but to me, you're not being honest with yourself if you read some of the description.
Yeah, just the ball that apparently had daylight before it had sun. Yeah. No problem.
The Paula does.
Read the Bible, Christians.
That's what I'm saying, Owen. Not necessarily the King James Version or any modern. But actually, if you go to the real Paleo Hebrew description of the old understanding of the words, it's a lot more categorical to me. Not a lot less ambiguity.
How do we get into Paleo Hebrew?
Right.
Because of me, because I said read the
Not your
Bible.
fault.
Yeah, but I have the original Hebrew and Greek. It says nothing about a ball hurling in space.
Good point. All right, listen, guys. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left. We're not going to do those. We're going to do 2 more. All right.
Aw.
We're going to do 2 more for today. Yeah, I kind of knew
4
this.
more hours.
Yeah, right. 4 more minutes. We'll go ahead and do these 2.
Can I first shout out a Superchat?
Yes, go ahead, Betty.
We got one from James Richard. Again, what's crazy and completely overlooked is space, and everything therein is literally in their imagination. Not ever seeing it with their own eyes, yet holding all these imaginations.
Here, James.
And that's religion, isn't it?
That's a verse in the Bible. He's comparing it to. I understand what he's doing.
Yeah, that's religion. What he's talking about is religion. It's belief without evidence. That's what religion is. The principle is irrelevant. If you believe something and you have no evidence for it, then it is by definition a religion. A lot of people don't like to hear it because they're part of it.
Well, I would say technically that the refusal to basically inquire further, to figure it out, what is real, because that's a natural tendency of people. I think that is really where the religion sets in.
Yep.
When the priesthood starts to discourage that.
Yep.
That's where the real religion starts.
Yeah, I had a good friend of mine yesterday tell me, I don't need to prove it's a globe. Thousands of people have already done it before me that are a lot smarter than me. And that made me kind of sad to hear that. Like, wow, you just give your whole authority, your whole manhood, I guess you could say, to just somebody else just because it's a great story.
There you have it.
That's religion. That's just like the priests, right? I believe it because the priests say it. Same thing. No difference.
Yep.
That's why it's a religion, BlobeTARDS. That's why we hold your feet to the fire with it.
Mm-hmm. Peer review, priest review.
Yeah, peer review. Peer, P-E-A-R. Yeah. All right, listen, we got our favorite guy coming up. So go on mute. Go on mute and start nesting here for the next couple minutes. I don't think this is a long one, and I'll try and wait for the delay, for the lag time to catch up with you guys. All right, here we go. The double-speaking Dunning-Kruger rumpus, June 19th, 2020.
Einstein's field equations cannot solve for more than one mass.
Yes, you can't solve them numerically with as an equation, but they...
So you can't solve this little problem that Brian's presented you with Einstein's field equations then? You cannot do it then? That would make you a liar.
You can solve it numerically. You can solve it numerically. Yes, you can't solve them numerically with as an equation. You can solve it numerically. Yes, you can't solve them numerically with as an equation.
The typical doublespeak from the champion of doublespeak.
I mean, that just speaks for itself.
Exactly.
Ouch.
I don't need to say anything.
You could literally play a back-to-back one with like just the one he's got with the geometric right. We don't. How many times does he do this?
Once you start doing it, it's as long as you can keep the motivation up to keep going, it doesn't really matter anymore. So he just tries not to get distracted about how many times he's contradicted himself. He just tries to keep on going. Very brave.
It's brave to doublespeak in front of everyone?
Now, from his perspective, he's very brave.
Wow.
Same.
He realized what he's doing.
I don't know. I'm not into diagnosing. I just present, just the facts, ma'am. Yeah, I know.
Just the basic facts. Can you tell me where it hurts?
Yeah, just the basic facts. Like I said, I'm not into diagnosing. That's a fool's errand. I will not do it. Only to say that it rings of, like I said in the beginning, fanatical religious zealotry mixed with delusional Dunning-Kruger. That's what you get.
By the way, that was a Pink Floyd song.
Yes, I know.
I know you know.
I know that you know that I knew. Adam.
I'd just add that I think you have to fully understand the contradictions inside out to be able to doubly speak like that. That I'd just, again, put it back to intellectual honesty. I don't think the rumpus is done to be able to maintain the double speak and pull it out as an essay. Even there, we do, we don't, you know, that shows you do fully understand the contradiction. I do give him a bit of kudos for intelligence, 0 for integrity.
I agree with that. I don't want to give him up his props, but yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's not doing that accidentally, right? He's not double speaking accidentally. I know other people do. A lot of the Clovers do because they don't even understand their arguments half the time. But Rumpus does, and he's doing it deliberately.
The best they've got, Chocolate, not in terms of argument, but in terms of doublespeak, as exemplified by having to come in as the lawyer, Sideman Dad.
Yep.
Got a doublespeak.
The greasy lawyer. Yeah, man. Who better to represent his client than Mr. Rumpus? Right?
Rumpus of the Bailey.
Because that's how he sounded. You know, like, you're misrepresenting my client. That's all I heard when he was saying, you're misrepresenting his argument. Like, well, where's he? That was that. Anyway.
Any thoughts on that one? Listen, there's not too much we could say on it. It's just basic, just double speak. It's contradictory every other breath. It's typical.
It's just greasing the skids. Try to slip through every step of the way. Try to keep it going.
All right, Betty, any admin? Betty? Are you with us, girl?
Needs a super chat. Wake her up. No one's the one. So. Come on. Super chat quick.
Super chat real quick. Wake her up. I need my wing woman. Looks like I'm not going to get her right now. That's okay. You can go ahead and take a break.
Hey, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, real quick, wake her up. Hello?
Hello?
I'm here. I had someone at the door. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. All right. Final thoughts, Betty?
Okay. You can go ahead and take a break. Hey.
You got your watch page on.
Yeah, I know. Let's talk about admin. I need to shut down my watch page when I go away. Sorry. There was a neighbor at the door with a calamity, so I get there. Did I miss much?
No, you didn't. It was the double speaking rumpus, saying that he can do the equations, then he can't do the equations, then he can, then he can't, then he can, then he can't.
I love him.
Yeah, you know the routine. It's not a big... Well, I won't put you on the spot with this one. Hopefully everything's okay with your neighbor.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to finish it up with this last one. Like I said, I got a ton just with this, but that's okay. We don't have to... I didn't want to go fast through them. Everyone will recognize this one. So go ahead and mute your watch. But we're going to finish up with this one. Everyone mute your watch page. And like I said, I'll leave time at the end. Little lag time for you guys to catch up. But here we go. This is Gem Panda, by the way. or June 2020. Gem Panda, Mr. Bird's Humping Natural Experiment, and Knowledge is Special Belief. Now with his current thesis defense.
Nobody has ever determined the shape or size of the Earth by making an observation of the horizon. We've never done that. We've never, ever, ever, ever done that.
What in the world? Absolutely priceless. Ladies and gentlemen, this bozo's been out here for 5 years defending the disheveled ball-tard spinning space monkey religion and doesn't even know where or how his fairy tale radius came to be. You can't make this shit up, folks. Like I always say, just let them open up their incoherent pie holes and they'll do your work for you.
Nathan is telling you that because of the black swan, we can't know the radius of the Earth, when we have never, ever, ever determined the radius of the Earth by measuring the distance to the horizon. Never, never, no one has ever done that ever in the history of humanity.
Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni.
Established where?
Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni.
Show where that's established.
Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni.
You're not talking about a water level. You're talking about measuring the radius of the Earth by looking at the horizon. Show where that is established in any way.
Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni.
I think it was never, ever, ever, ever determined by observing the horizon.
Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni.
There you go.
I love it. It's been a while since I heard that one too, so it was extra good.
Yeah, sorry. The geometric horizon, it doesn't work out. And if you're going to claim some kind of terrestrial refraction, it will turn out to be a paradox. So, yeah, Al-Biruni didn't really measure the geometric horizon now, did he? Didn't really do that. He was off.
It's shocking that Gem Panda didn't know it. That's the shock. I don't even have to say anything. This one argues itself.
Probably because you couldn't falsify it.
I'd like to correct something too. Gimp Panda, just in case you're listening, you said Nathan is telling you that because of the black swan, you can't know the radius of the Earth. Nathan never made that claim. I have never made that claim. I don't know anyone who has made that claim. We're claiming that because of the black swan, your radius is codswallop horsepucky bollock, sir. You don't even know what the argument is. That's a whole nother level. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, I was to say that would imply that we would be saying that the only way you can measure the Earth's radius is optically the non-straight line tangent. So that'd be an odd claim to make on our behalf, wouldn't it? So,
yeah.
What I would say is, Jeremy was a gentleman. I was very, very drunk Saturday night in his server, and yeah. Cheers, mate. I appreciate the way you dealt with me, is all I'd say. Not so much some of the flat earthers. Interested. Talking about behaviour, and that's. You've built an army, right? I think this probably needs support with some folks who are running their mouth off. Can't back it up. All right, you doing stuff, people, and Jeremy shows there, stepping outside of what you know is dangerous sometimes. I always try to avoid it. I can't help it. Candy or two. I think flat earthers need to be just go and do this. Need to know what you're talking about. Don't just be knowing and understanding. They're quite happily demonstrating they know nothing and understand very, very little. Yeah. Sorry, a bit of a rant there.
No, you're fine. No, you're good to go.
Yeah, I'll chat with you and Chocolate about that after the show.
Okay.
It's an interesting evening. Yeah, but shout out to Jeremy. That's what I wanted to say there. Thanks, Jeremy. You were actually fairly decent to me. It wasn't Flat Earth, John. We were chatting about cancer treatments, so it was an interesting evening. Sorry, I've gone completely sideways.
That's okay. You're not the only one. You're good to go. Yeah. It's just striking. Like you said, that's sage advice if you don't know anything about the topic. But how could you not know if you're a GlobeTARD where your radius came from? How could you not know that after 5 years?
I think that
you've either ignored the sage advice or doing what we're probably accusing you of, which is to contradict yourself to maintain your argument.
When you presuppose R with everything, yeah, you just start to take it for granted.
Yeah, but my thing is, even if you didn't know that part of the argument, right? Like, let's say you had no idea who Al Biruni was, right? Never heard that somebody tried to get a radius from measuring dip angle of a horizon, whatever. You never heard it. What if it's being presented to you as an argument? Why wouldn't you want to at least look it up? Maybe see where this argument's coming from instead of just saying nobody's ever. But what are you doing that for? You just make yourself look silly. You should have just said, all right, let me see who that is. Find out what's going on. Right? I mean, how long have you been doing this?
You've been doing this for a while and you believed it was a ball. Wouldn't you have checked what first determines your R value?
Right.
It was my
I would think.
Position from.
Go ahead, Betty. Betty had a thought on it. Go ahead.
Will I get rumpused?
I think you did. Adam did it.
Yeah, Adam and I have the same thing that you and Chocolate always had. Right? The rumpusing.
Don't even see it, Betty.
Yeah, because Kiwi's always rumpusing me. He just can't help himself.
All right, it's all right. What I said was that I never heard about that Al Biruni, whatever, before Kiwi mentioned it. Right? So I wouldn't know where to look before that. But I think that it's a sort of new thing, but they didn't explore it either, right? They didn't come up with it. So I find it interesting that the arguments for the globe we find and debunk immediately, right? And then they sort of follow on that, and then either say that they never saw it before, it was never there, or deny.
Almost like they concentrated so much on Aristophanes and his supposed circumference that they kind of just let the radius slip under the radar.
Yeah. Nice word pun. Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for the greatest hits for today. Like I said, we only got through. We didn't even put a dent. So I was suspecting. I have at least 10 episodes. At least that many. So get ready.
Or maybe you can sort of combine them with an open panel, so that, because I find that every time that you bring up someone's argument and you debunk it with that recording, it sort of brings up these questions again, or it has to clarify what we are talking about. So it's sort of like educational as well, right? At the same time.
Sure, that's the whole point. Yep, it's educational. It's showing if you're a ball believing zealot and you're listening to these arguments and you're not embarrassed, I don't know what to tell you. I'd be ashamed, because these are below second grade arguments. Even a second grader is somewhat coherent. All right. But you can tell when people are just making stuff up. And that's what's happening here. Like I said, go to the logical conclusions. Don't just have a claim out there and let them get off the hook. Go ahead and take them to the end of their claim. And you'll see every single time it's vapor. There's nothing there. And oftentimes it's hilarious. So, okay, let's go with final thoughts. Arwen?
Yeah, interesting show so far. Can't wait for the continuation of it. Let's see where that goes. And yeah, just look at the treasure trophy of ridiculous global statements. You know, it's only growing. It's invest now, people. Invest now, personally, because it's an economy that's only growing.
Thanks, Arwen. You got a shout out? Go ahead, shout out your channel.
Oh, right. That's ARWIJN. I'm on YouTube. Yeah, I have a daily show, the Flat Earth Early Bird Show, 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. So yeah, you can see me there. I have a lot of interaction with my chat because it's just me doing that show. I don't really have a panel. I could have guests on, but it doesn't really happen a lot. Yeah, I hope to see you there. I'm open for questions and anything, basically. So
cool. What time is that on?
2 p.m. Amsterdam time. That's 1 p.m. London time, and again, it's like 6 p.m. on the West Coast, I think. 6 a.m. and
8 a.m.
10?
Eastern.
Right. Okay. That. I can never get it straight. Sorry.
It's all right, man.
Thanks, Arwen. Appreciate it. Betty, did you have some?
I said, "Woo! Look at the bones." Time.
Look at the bones.
That was great.
Look at the bones. You're in rare form. I wasn't ready for that.
What? I missed it.
I'll say, and it's 15 phalanges past the femur.
For the ball busters, I went ahead and put that clip, Betty. You little sly dog, you.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for it. I went ahead and put the short clip in the Ballbuster Skype if you want to check. Chocolate, if you want to check it out after we're done here. But Chocolate, go ahead. Final thoughts?
Oh man, great show. Always a pleasure being here. Yeah, it's a wrap for the Globe. We're just cleaning house now and cleaning up
trophy displays and just putting them out there for people. 'Cause, yeah, Globies, these guys, they're on your side. So these are basically like kind of like your arguments. So try to assess how ridiculous do these people sound, right? They're fighting for your ball. Just so you know.
Thanks, Chocolate. Appreciate it, man.
Yep.
Neil.
Yo. Great show as usual. Just give them enough rope, they'll keep hanging themselves, and you'll have to have another show and break it down into 3 parts. You know the deal.
Yep.
Keep them coming, Huey.
Yeah, it's all over but the laughing. Because this is pretty hilarious. In a pathetic sort of way.
Correct. That's
Paul.
it. Over.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. Paul, you out there? How's your mic doing?
Hopefully not too bad, but what little I got to catch of it, great show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Rams.
Fallacy.
Yep, great show, QE. Very entertaining. Look forward to coming episodes.
Yeah, they're going to be many the way this is going.
I'm sure.
Appreciate
As
it,
I
man.
said, it's a growing economy. At some point, there might be a necessity for infinite shows because every time you organize a new show, there's already been numerous new amounts of ridiculous statements. You never know.
Huey isn't going away. Although that people might have thought that.
Jeez. Rob! Is Rob off mute?
Yeah.
Rob's always concise, man. Go ahead, Rob. What you got, man?
That's very concise.
That, like I said, he's always concise, man. He's right to the point. Love it. Thanks, Rob. Adam, sir.
Speak. And when he's not,
Stop focusing me.
Hey, wait a minute. Was my middle of my sentence interrupting the beginning of yours?
No. But you said my name and then you spoke, so I was just getting back.
Go on.
Go on, Adam.
No, I mean, cheers, mate. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. That stuff. I'm looking now. I thought it was maybe going to be a solo album. It looks like it might be a bit of a franchise, as Arwin's insinuated they're going to keep producing material, mate. So I can't wait to see Greatest Hits 14.
Greatest Hits 40.
You know what I mean? So it might be like, now that's what I call music. Get into the 50s or something.
Wow.
Yeah, mate. No, I enjoyed it, and apologies to the lovely Dave.
Yeah, not a problem. Just get another computer, Adam, and another mic. You'll be all right.
Won't stop being scared of
Any channel shout outs, Adam?
Yeah, obviously. If give a shout out to Iron Rail Media on Friday nights, Atmosphere at somewhere around 11 o'clock UK time, and then obviously to the boys on TFR and YouTube on 10:30 Tuesdays and Fridays, the Ironworks, and of course I think I got an official Thursday afternoon guest shout out on Nathan's Flat Earth debates now. So I'm at the dentist this week, so I can't be there. But anyway, other than that, see me around, probably Discord as well. I'm really enjoying that.
Thank you, sir. Betty, you want to take us home? Any late admin and take us on home after that?
Okay. Well, usually that's Nathan's thing, but all right. Great honor. Let me shout out the last super chat from James Richard. He's the only super chatter today. Really doing a great job. And he says, Rumpus' desire to continue to lie is stabbing a sword into his honor, integrity in heart. He can't hide that voice nor speed talk. He will only reveal himself.
Exactly right. Every single time.
Yeah. Well, I do like Rumpus for some reason. I do like the way he's always returns with something else. And he gets destroyed every time.
You like that?
Tenacity or stamina to just go against the flow.
He's like the Red Baron. You've got to respect it.
Yeah, it's like a fish going against stream and then at the end dies, right?
Maybe the comparison to Team Rocket would be better.
Well, listen, we want to wrap this up. It's 7 minutes to femur, so let's.
So you sat on that one, huh? Oh, too funny. Great. Love
it. Final thoughts, Betty.
After that one, I can't top that off.
Yeah. That's why I did it. All right. Hey, listen. Thanks for coming, guys. Like I said, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to get through all of them. Thanks for your patience. Also, panel members and people in the audience out there for the lag time between Discord, YouTube, and all that nonsense. It's just the way it is. There's going to be multiple installments of the show. Maybe not back to back. We'll see how it goes. We'll go with it by feel. But thanks for coming. Like I said, these arguments, hopefully there was some new people out there and they were able to listen to grown adults actually argue and put their claims out there and provide supporting evidence. And as you can see, it was pathetic, nonsensical buffoonery. That's what the ball has left. So, take no prisoners. No quarter will be asked. None shall be given. And remember, I'll be back.